run the marathon every year on a separate day because part of April for me, and part of being a Bostonian in April, is running from Hopkinton to Boylston Street. And I can't do that on Marathon Monday anymore because of the professional commitment I've made to the race, but I can't let a year pass without doing that on my own. Once you run Boston, and once you have a taste of what the journey is like, there's no marathon anywhere that has the experience of the journey from Hopkinton to Boston.
Finally on the first hill of the course. This is where it starts to feel like a fun marathon.
It was a perfect day. We started promptly at 10 o'clock with some of the best running conditions one could have ever asked for. In fact, it was so quiet that I didn't have much to do. The crew knew what they were doing and our volume was light, and in fact that's how I found my way up to the finish line, and was standing just to the public library side of the bandstand when the first bomb went off. But the smell was one that I had never really smelled before. It was a combination of detonated explosives and burned charred flesh. The other was simply taking a look at the storefront at Marathon Sports and seeing that the entire storefront had been blown in. And then obviously the next thing that happened was the sound of people screaming. And that's when I no longer was standing, I was moving, and I was moving in the direction of what had happened. And I saw people that were hurting, and I saw people that were dying, and was over the barricades doing whatever it was I could do.
Please, get back, don't worry.
What I ended up doing was just simply looking for the people I thought were the sickest, that needed the most immediate attention, and going right to them. The most striking thing that I encountered early on, and the thing that I attended to first medically, was the young woman that passed away. She was breathing, and she had her eyes open, and clearly I'll never forget the look in her eyes. I had my sunglasses on. I remember that because I thought I would take them off and make eye contact, but I realized that I couldn't do that. I needed to keep my sunglasses on because I was too afraid to make eye contact. And I talked to her and I told her everything was going to be okay. And she lost consciousness, and I turned my attention to people that were next to her, all of whom were alive and were obviously screaming in a lot of pain. And so the next several people I worked with was simply a function of tying tourniquets and trying to salvage limbs and stop bleeding. I remember using a marathon medal, the lanyard around a marathon medal that was passed to me by an individual that had finished and come back around to watch a friend finish. I used my own belt. At one point I used a shoelace. Literally anything that we could get our hands on that was soft, rope-like, pliable, that we could tie knots with and tie them tightly. It's just basically my way of celebrating what that race means to me, which is a celebration of health and of happiness and of community, and an opportunity, and this is really what marathoning is, it's an opportunity to put everything else in life on hold for a short period of time, a few hours, and focus on a single goal, which is getting from point A to point B and doing it safely. I knew I needed to be back here for a number of reasons. One, because I believe in this race, and I believe in what it does for our community and what it does for the running community worldwide. And I also owe so much of who I am to this sport and this concept of marathon running, that to abandon it when things got tough was something I would never be comfortable doing. There's no place that I'm more destined to be.